How's everybody doing out there? This is another Turbo 350 rebuild here, and we're going to take this valve body apart, and I'm going to show y'all how the valves and everything go inside this valve body here. So let's get this one. Let's start getting them out here. We'll do the easiest ones the first. Alright, so I went ahead and put a little piece of tape over this valve body to keep these little holders in place here, because some of them sometimes they'll fall out. So we'll take that off here, and I'll show y'all how to disassemble this thing. Now I got myself a tray here, so that'll work just fine. I've already had this apart, checking it out, but I wanted to show y'all how to take it apart. So we're going to do the easiest one first. We're going to do the second one. So if you're looking at your valve body right here, we're going to do this one right here. So what you do is you just flip it upside down, like so, and you push this one. This is the easiest one on the side here. You just push it in and out, and there you go. So there's a needle that fell out. Now we're just take and ease it out. There's a little spring behind it, and get the valve itself out. And that's it. That's the first valve. There goes my buddy down the road there. Got an old Ford tractor. Anyway, to get back to this Turbo 350 rebuild here. This is an easy valve to push in to get out there. It's not that bad. So let me line this up and show y'all what order it goes back in. So we take this valve right here, and you want to install this way first. Just drop it down on in there. You're gonna hold your valve body up, and you want to make sure in here it drop all the way down. Ours dropped all the way down. If you look, it's all the way at the bottom. And one thing you want to do to check your valves to make sure they are moving like they're supposed to be is put your finger over the hole where, and turn the valve body up. If you hear that, our valve's moving free. So we're good to go on that. Now I've already had this apart and cleaned it and went through it, but I wanted to show y'all how to do it. So next thing, after we install our valve, we install our spring, so that goes in next. Then we install our little cup, you would call it. So install that next. That can go in either way. What you got to do is you got to put that in there and hold against that spring, and put that needle in there. So you just take it, hold it like that, just push it straight on in there, and now we'll flip it over while we're holding it in there. Alright, we're holding it in there, so let's get our needle there and put it back in. I went ahead and got it in, not all the way in. That's all the way in. And now we can push it, and it won't come out. Just push it in and out a couple times, make sure it goes all the way to the bottom there, and you're good to go. So that's how you do that valve. And they're not too bad. That's this valve right here. Next we'll go on and do this valve. And one thing about these valves is they only install one way. You can't, these three right here, you can't mix up. You can't take this one here and put it in there, and on the first one there, and you can't take the one from the middle and put put it on either this side or this side, because they're actually machined to fit these valves, which is really nice. So we'll disassemble this next one here, and I'll show y'all how to do that. This might be a couple videos to do this, but there's not really any videos out there on how to disassemble this valve body here. So we'll pull this one in and out, push it in and out, and let's get our valve out. Alright, so let's get this in there. Just push it in and out like that. And see how our needle drop right on out. This is the second valve here. Alright, so there's our needle dropped out. Now we're going to ease it out. Just let these out easily because there's a spring tension behind them. And now you can just pull it on out. And now we just got our valve. I'll turn it up there. There's our valve. And if you look in there, there's everything. So to put that back together here, what you do, you take this valve right here, you take this valve, and then there's the hole right there. So we will install that just like this. Drop it down in there, and it goes all the way to the bottom. So the ours didn't go all the way to the bottom. I have to push it just a little bit. There you go. That's all the way at the bottom. Make sure they're all the way at the bottom there. And now we're going to take our other valve right here. And this is easy to disassemble here. This only goes one way. The actual valve here, or the casing, I guess you would say. And if you notice, I'm going to drop this down in here. So it won't go all the way to the bottom. This is the wrong way to do it. No, that's the proper way. So if you install it backwards here like this, there's no way you can drop back down in there so it won't go all the way through it. So don't worry about that. These valves only go in one way. What's the nice thing about this? So we'll flip it around here. Install it the correct way. And what you want to do is hold it up and let gravity do its work. You see how this valve moves up and down? You want to make sure it moves freely. So let gravity do its thing. Make sure it falls down on its own weight. Push it back up. Make sure it moves freely. You're good to go. Ours moves good and freely. Now I've already went ahead and disassembled this and cleaned everything. But I just wanted to show you all how this assembles. So we'll take this, install our spring back on it. It's this spring right here. And there's a little hole at the end of this valve. One end doesn't have a hole, this end has a hole. So what you do is the spring goes inside that hole, just like this. And then you want to install that. Just like this. So you want to install your valve just like this. So you want to take your spring, put it in the inside of this valve right here, just like that, because there only one end has a hole where. So you install your spring like that, and then you want to install it just like this. You want to install it just like it. Make sure the spring's on the inside. So when you push down on it, it's got pressure. That's how that goes. So you got your in there. You install your spring on here. Just like so. Now you just install it just like this. Hard to do with one hand. Just like it. Now we'll take and install that. So we already got our valve in there. So now we'll install the other end of the valve. And that goes in just like this. Helps turn it back and forth a little bit. Alright, so now we're getting at the end. Now what you want to do, so we'll flip this over here. And there has a little notch in it. And what you want to do is turn that notch to line up with this hole right here. And just push it in. Just like that, and hold on to it. And take your needle right here, drop it back into place. I have to press it in and out a couple times. There we go. And it's dropped down in there. So let's do our next one here, which is the one in the middle. It's this one. So do the same thing, turn it over, push it in and out a couple times. Just like that. There you go. Just popped out. There it is down there on the plate. Now just ease it out real easy. Let out. We'll turn our valve body upside down. Get the other half of our valve out. And have to get our valve out here. Alright, so we got our valve in the middle out there. If you look on the valve body, we're working on this one right here. The way this installs is you have this valve right here. So we'll just drop that in. That installs just like this. And when you put it in, you want to make sure it's all the way at the end here. Another buddy. But anyway, we want to make sure this valve here is all the way at the end, like it's supposed to. Get it. Alright, so we got our valve all the way at the end here. It's all the way pushed back to this end, and that's really important. And you still want to check and turn it up. Make sure it moves. Ours moves. So now we're going to take and assemble the rest of it. And the next piece you need You got a spring here. This installs just like this. Put a spring in. And if you notice, see, it won't only go in but one way. See, so we turn around the other way, it'll go in there, just like that. These are these are machined with very tight tolerances, because when these valves move, it doesn't let fluid go through these channels on this valve body, only lets it flow a certain direction. And these valves are machined to very tight tolerance. That's how that is installed there. So now we're going to take our case here and our valve and install our spring. So here's our valve. Notice how only one end has a hole. So take our spring here, it's a very small spring. Install that just like that, and install it just like this. And then when you're done, you should be able to take and hold it and take your finger and push that, and it should have a little bit of spring there. Ours does. Ours is good.